What's going on, guys? So I am out here in Madisonville, Texas again for the 5th time to pick up a new trailer. And this trailer is a little bit different because this is a collaboration trailer, like pure collaboration. They reached out to me, I communicated with them, and they said, you know what, we really want to get some of the new branding out. We want to show some new features and technologies. We'd like to get a new trailer on your channel. So big shout out to the folks over in Madisonville, Texas at Texas Pride Trailers for doing what they do. This is absolutely awesome, and I have to say, big supporters of the channel, and this is a big and very awesome collaboration that we're about to have. Guys, behind this door is the new trailer. We just got done filming it with the folks over at Texas Pride in Montana, and we are going to take a look at this beast. Montana, open up that door. So we got Montana over here. You want to say hi to everyone?
Hey guys, it's Montana from Texas Pride. Get you one.
Yeah, we just got done filming a video on their channel, so go check it out because we go through all the nitty-gritty of this thing, and we're going to talk about it in depth in this video as well. All right, so what you were looking at in front of you is one absolutely fantastic Texas Pride deck over trailer. Now, this trailer is absolutely loaded with some cool, innovative features. And what's really awesome about this is these are all things that anybody who wants to buy a Texas Pride trailer can spec out with. Again, full disclosure, this is a full collaboration unit, which means they built this unit for me and they're providing this unit to me. So this is a really big blessing for me and the channel to be able to have such great partners. Now, part of this is the fact that I already have like 4 trailers from them that I bought. This specific one is going to be able to fulfill a need that's kind of been lacking, and that's the fact that I can load multiple pieces of equipment on this trailer. If you've seen like the tilt deck trailer I have, one of the challenges with it is the fact that you can really only load one piece of equipment on it at any given time, because once you tilt it back, you roll something on, it's going to tilt forward, and unless you side load other stuff, you really don't have the capability of rolling 2 pieces of equipment on it. So if I want to take my tractor to another piece of property or my excavator and I want to take them both together, I can't do that on my tilt deck trailer. It's a cool trailer, but it's more of an equipment trailer than anything else. And again, we collaborated on that trailer as well, but I purchased that trailer. This one right here is actually a collaboration to get me into a really cool, innovative trailer with the new branding. They changed their entire logo and brand to get into a new trailer that can kind of accomplish everything that some of my other trailers have not allowed me to accomplish. So let's talk about some of the specs on this thing because it is absolutely awesome. First and foremost, the front coupler right here was actually provided by the folks over at Gen Y. This is the Gen Y Spartan. This is awesome. It's torsion flex, so you have this great ability to dampen and absorb some of that shock and vibration. It's going to make it a smoother connection to the vehicle, and it's also going to provide less harshness in the trailer side itself. This specific one's rated to 25,000 pounds towing capacity and 4,500 pounds worth of hitch weight capacity. It has their new snap latch coupler, which is awesome. That's going to snap in place over the 2 5/16 inch gooseball in the back of the truck. They offer this in a round or square tube, and I love the fact that Texas Pride on their heavier duty trailers give you the option to have a square tube as well. So we were able to get this working out awesome. Now, a lot of folks are going to say, well, why would you opt for a square tube over a round tube? As you get heavier, the square tube is actually going to prevent some possible twisting. It's going to be a little bit easier to operate with, and quite frankly, it's designed for heavier applications. The trailer itself is actually one of their 30,000 pound GVWR trailers, but we actually derated this one to 25,000 pounds. Now, the reason for that is because we now have an overbuilt trailer. It simply means that I have a trailer that was designed to be able to withstand more weight even though I'm rating it down to less weight. So you're not getting around any regulation or anything. You're simply saying that I don't want to have a trailer that whenever it's fully loaded, it's at its maximum capacity. So again, built to be a 30,000 pound GVWR trailer, derated to a 25,000 pound trailer. Up front, hydraulic Stillwell front landing gear. This is awesome. Basically, I have the ability to raise and lower this thing with the remote. If you've ever had to manually crank up a trailer, it takes a long time. It's a bit of a pain. It can be exhausting, especially when it's 100 degrees outside. It's not as if it's terrible, but it's definitely something that's not fun. With hydraulic landing gears, it gives you the ability to quickly hitch it up to the back of your vehicle, super quickly, super efficiently, and it's just fast. That's the best part of it. Up front, you also have a locking toolbox, and this is going to house all of our equipment from our hydraulic pump to our battery up here. We have a charger built in as well, so we can plug this thing into a wall and charge the battery, and of course I'll be using solar on it. Up here, this is absolutely insane. So you see some frame sections on trailers that look really cool and innovative, but what I wanted here was pure strength. So this is actually a 14-inch I-beam that is 26 pounds per foot. This is an incredibly solid, thick I-beam. This thing is super, super heavy duty, and again, this is something that you typically don't see on a lot of gooseneck trailers. And I know that some of the focus is to remove the weight, but in an area up here, it's always good to have a lot of structure. Not saying that anybody else is doing it wrong, so don't misconstrue that. The fact is, though, I love having such a strong I-beam section up front. I think a lot of people wish that some RVs had that type of I-beam on them. As we come down the side, I love the fact that in the rub rail, we also have tubes right here, and these allow us to put our chains and to use binders more effectively on this tube versus the actual rub rail itself. And that's going to give us the ability to keep these intact, not to apply too much pressure to these, and put it in a much better mounting location. You have your step right here. You also have a nice little headache rack over here, and inside or in between, you have a Warn VR Evo 8,000 pound winch. So that is a really cool cable winch. We have our full matching spare tire up front. Over here we have our buyer's 36-inch side mount below deck toolboxes, and these are lockable. Inside of here, you're going to see something kind of cool, a bunch of 4-inch straps. So on the other side of this trailer, when we get there, you're actually going to see ratcheting strap holders, so the straps can actually live on the trailer and you don't have to put them inside these storage bins if you don't want to. That is a really, really nice feature. This is another one of them, and this one's empty. You can see the lifetime LED lights that they ran down the side. I did not know that they were going to do that, so that was a really cool surprise to actually see this thing absolutely lit up. Plus really nice premium side markers right here. That is not just a cheap low-cost light. One of the biggest features this trailer has is its suspension. You guys know that I focus a lot on suspension. So this is what's called a hutch suspension. So this basically utilizes an oversized equalizer, trailing arms, as well as leaf-sprung slipper spring suspension. They space the axles further apart as well. It gives you more stability and less porpoising. This is just one heck of a setup. 15,000 pound axles. So these are 30,000 pounds worth of axle capacity. Has a 14-inch I-beam frame underneath as well, and it's also bridged to give it a little bit of a camber or bow effect, which basically is going to allow it to set flush whenever you put a lot of weight on the back of it. Over here you have a pierced beam deck, which means that the deck actually sits lower than it would need to. On a lot of trailers that you see just all wood or all lumber across the top, they do that because everything is sitting above the steel, which makes the deck height actually significantly higher. But by actually making this pierced, everything sits into it. It requires more structure, more engineering, and more design, and it gives you definitely a slightly lower deck, a really cool appearance overall. And it's going to be easier to load things up and offload them, plus a lower center of gravity, which is really nice. All of your bracing or supports under here are 12 inches apart. And what's nice about that is the fact that on a lot of gooseneck trailers over time, as the lumber dries out, because it's inevitably going to dry out because it's lumber, and when it does, it starts wanting to bow or curl. And yes, you can replace these boards, which is really nice, but when you have more mounting spots and more support underneath, it's less likely to start curling and really starting to come apart like you might normally see. So that's really cool that they do that. They also used 4-inch outriggers on it as well versus a traditional 3. That's just going to give you more support as well and stability. On the back here, we have the Mammoth ramps. These are super spring assisted. So they went to, I guess, a new spring mechanism, because I had heard stories in the past of how their spring mechanism was a bit stiff and it wasn't really enough to be able to handle some of the extreme weights of the ramps. So if I take this, I can actually, with one arm now, I can lift these ramps up. So that is really, really nice. And I can even take that bar, reattach it down there to here, and I can have these ramps in the upright position like this, which gives you the ability to load something extra long, like say a pickup truck or something, where the back of the bed might be right here, and normally you wouldn't be able to close these ramps because they would hit the back of the truck. But when you put them in the upright position like this, it still gives you that ability to close them, no problem at all. Yep. Did a great job redesigning or going to a different type of spring mechanism there, because it is super easy to lift these ramps up now. A lot of places to grab them as well. You have a little foot part right here where you can put your foot right here when you're lifting the ramp up if you need to. Again, all LED lights across the back. Tons of reflector tape on this. I love this gray color. I asked them if they could do gray. They said we can do gray, and check it out. I mean, this is just an absolutely beautiful color. Now this is those ratchets that I was telling you about, all the way down the side, and they slide as well. So I have the ability to relocate these and use those 4-inch ratchet straps on the other side to be able to put the appropriate number of straps over things that I might be carrying in the back. That is absolutely awesome. And it has 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 of them. These 2 back here are welded to the frame. Then the 8 up here are slidable, so you can move them around. Coming back around up front. This is just one heck of a trailer. I mean, it is beautiful. If you're looking for the dimensions, which I guess I could have gone over earlier, it is 25 feet of deck until you get to the 5-foot dovetail on the back. So overall, it's a 30-foot deck, and you can use every bit of it if you can either roll forward and then roll back on here, or if you just want to put the ramps in the upright position, so you can essentially use the whole thing without having to worry about closing the ramps and blocking them. But it is a beautiful trailer. Love the diamond plate right here. I'm definitely, well, I'm on the fence. I don't know what color I want to paint this lumber right here, because I like to protect the lumber. It's already pressure treated, but I'm probably going to do something that you guys that have been watching the channel for a while saw me do on another much smaller trailer. I think that'll look really cool, and it will be accented by some other things that are already on here. So that's a future video. I'm not going to give it all away. But what do you guys think? Now, again, because of how heavy duty we built this, we could have gone with the heavier duty Gen Y hitch up front. The reason why we went with this Spartan, they go all the way up to like 6,000 or 7,000 pounds up here. The reason why we went with this one is because even though this thing, again, is going to have a 25,000 pound GVWR, I don't know if I'm ever going to load it up that heavy. And if I do, it will be right up to that, which means I'm not going to have 6,000 pounds worth of tongue weight resting on the back of my truck, which is important, because when you're buying a Gen Y coupler with the torsion flex, you need to be sure that you get one specifically designed for the type of tongue weights you're going to actually be carrying. Otherwise, this part may not move, and if it doesn't move, it's not going to provide that shock dampening you're looking for. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. But what do you guys think? This is a beautiful trailer. A big shout out to the folks over at Texas Pride. I love the fact that, you know, these collaborations lead to really cool products out on the market that you all are able to see. I can't wait to see how many folks are cruising down the road with the new Texas Pride trailer logo on their trailer. But yeah, I'm super excited. I got to give a big shout out again to the folks over at Texas Pride for supporting the channel and doing this collaboration with me. Anyways, I will put a link in the description of this video to Texas Pride, as well as the video that we do with them. So you can check that one out as well if you want to learn a little bit more about the trailer and why certain things were chosen. But we're going to bring this back to the property, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of content on this thing. So if you like Gooseneck trailer content, or you just like cool new things content, this is definitely a time to subscribe to the channel. Okay, so as a lot of people know, the Ford Super Duties, when properly equipped, have onboard scales. So we can actually see how much the pin weight of this gooseneck is. I'm gonna hit onboard scales. It's gonna give me a little warning. Then I'm gonna switch the scale to pounds. I'll put it in scale mode. So right now, I'm gonna zero this out, and this will be without the weight of us included whenever we zero this out. So the truck will actually include our weight, but then it's gonna start at 0. All right, so he has the jacks off the ground. We are right at around 2,300 pounds worth of pin weight on the back of this truck with a trailer that is empty. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? So again, maybe 25. I mean, we're pretty heavy right now, but the key behind a gooseneck like this is that we're still well under the actual capacity, and we can really balance where we want the load on the trailer itself. But anytime you get a big super heavy duty gooseneck, this is the type of weight you can expect. So as much as a medium-sized fifth wheel dry is what this thing actually weighs. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we have the new Texas Pride 30,000 pound built, 25,000 pound rated trailer in place. And we're at our first stop. We gotta head back with it, so we're gonna camp out here since we were out there pretty late. It towed wonderfully. Beautiful, beautiful trailer. Couldn't be happier. Huge, huge, huge shout out to the folks over at Texas Pride. They are absolutely amazing to work with, and I can't just be thankful enough for this type of collaboration. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please check out this product in the description of the video. If you're looking for your next trailer, they have all sorts of different types of trailers, and they probably have one to fit your needs, especially if you're looking for a commercial work trailer, dump trailer, roll-off trailer, lowboy, tilt trailer, deck over trailer. They got them all. Anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again real soon.